Hello there, thanks for tuning in. I hope you're having yourself a great day. I am. I'm doing much better. If you didn't already know, I had a seizure or some episode last week, and it really wreaked havoc on my brain, and I've been getting slowly back to being as normal as I can be. And today I wanted to share with you some animation cels. I'm a huge fan of animation, especially traditional hand-drawn animation. And I've, over the years, collected quite a few different animation cels from different series and movies. And today we're going to take a look at Nemo in Slumberland, which is a highly underrated movie. It's a real good movie. If you get a chance, check it out. The animation in it is insane. It took a while and several different, I think they went through several different producers and companies and stuff to finally get it finished. Most of the animation, if not all, was done in Asia, and I've actually met a few people who worked on it. Sadly, women did not get credit in early animation, especially the early stuff like Snow White and other movies around that time. If you go back and check the credits, you'll notice there's none or hardly any women in the credits, which is unfortunate because they did most of the work. They inked a lot of animation cels and painted the backs to do the coloring. And there's actually a few fantastic books that I've acquired or listened to recently. One of the ones I really would like to read, but I can't anymore because I can't see well enough. It's not available as an audiobook that I'm aware. I'm still trying to find one. It would take forever to scan all the pages to have them read. I think there was like 380 or something like that pages. And it looks like a fantastic book. It's ink and paint. It's the Women of Disney Animation. And I'll leave information about that at the end of this video. And you can check it out, or I'll just put it in the description. And they're really fun, to listen to. So like I said, today we're going to check out a big pile of animation cels from Nemo in Slumberland. They actually ended up making a video game of Nemo also, and it is fantastic. The scenery in this game is nuts. Unfortunately, I can't play it anymore. My coordination is horrible, and my vision also. So let's go ahead and take a look at these animation cels. Alrighty, so I've been meaning to do this video for a while now, and today I thought I would share some animation cels with you. I've been waiting on, actually today, a bunch of stuff from Germany, from Jan, is supposed to arrive. So as soon as I get that, we'll be taking a look at that. But in the meantime, we're going to look at Nemo in Slumberland animation cels. And they're absolutely gorgeous, and just to think, well, I'm looking at this one. I believe this one was done by a Xerox process, but not all of them are. A bunch are all hand done, which just blows my mind, because even the coloring, there are so many colors on here, it's insane. You've got 2 here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, it could be 15 or 16 different colors. And that's just one frame of a movie. They had to continuously keep doing these. And if you're not familiar how animation cels are done, back in the day, they used to, back in my day, they used to ink by hand the top. That's one reason why Sleeping Beauty took so long. If you ever really pay attention to that movie, there are so many frames and such high detail on all the characters. There's numerous colors per frame, and those were all done by hand. Inking on the front, usually done by women. The coloring is also done by women because supposedly they had more concentration and less shaky hands. The sad truth is women did not get any credit for all their hard work. If you look back at old movies like Snow White and stuff like that, you're going to see all men's names, which is really sad. There's two great books that tell you all about the women of animation. I'll leave some information at the end of the video. One of them was an audiobook I've been listening to. I have not been able to find one for the other for the book. So, but as you can see, that is all hand painted on the back. They had to use really tiny brushes to fill all these in. And then this is what they would go by, or this would be, in this case, I'm pretty sure this was all hand inked, because otherwise there wouldn't be these indications of colors on here. This would be just the line work if they were going to Xerox it. And this one was not. This doesn't go to this one, but let me see. I think this next frame actually does. Yeah. So here is the original drawing, and it's pretty clean. There are indications. The red ink that's actually on this will not show up on a Xerox process. So that might have just been an inking indication. Yeah, because there's no outlines around this area, and they drew it in red on here. But a lot of these, they would Xerox this. And the reason these little holes are on here is there's a peg system on the table that they would put these on, and that made sure everything lined up correctly. Otherwise, if you were just randomly trying to place these, you'd never get them lined up. So this is the one that belongs to this. Almost all of these have their original drawings. Unfortunately, over the years, moisture has gotten in between the pencil drawing and the ink, and paint has attached itself to the paper. So unfortunately, a lot of them are just attached, and unfortunately cannot get them apart. I guess I could try warming them up and see if I could remove them. I don't want to ruin anything though. I mean, just the scene alone, the detail is insane. This movie, if you haven't seen it, it's very underrated, and the amount of work that went into this movie is insane. And it also went through a bunch of different processes where that people were fired and rehired, and then it wasn't going to be made and made. But just the line work in this is insane. This one looks like it's been hand painted, because there are several colors. And if you can even see that, I'm not sure how well this is going to zoom in when I move it up, but there is an insane lot of line work in this. This cell, I was actually, when I was listening to the women of animation, the crazy thing is, it took them an entire day to do one cell sometimes, which is absolutely mind-blowing. Here is the original drawing for this, and it is so clean. Unfortunately, I can't draw like this anymore. I used to be able to, but my hands, I just have so much trouble with my hands shaking and other stuff. But I used to do this type of artwork. I'm hoping to try again sometime, because I have a lot of animation cell stock, like rolls of animation cell. And this one here, this one does kind of look like a Xerox process, but it's weird because it also has other color outlines. But the majority of this is black line, and then there is a different color in here. But like I said, I have all these. I have them reversed, because if it does stick, it's not going to wreck the original artwork that's on the opposite side. But again, here is a very detailed scene. The story is a little odd, but it's also, if you haven't seen it, I'll leave information about it at the end. It's a great movie. Just the animation is absolutely insane. I really, really enjoy it. I gotta sit and watch it again some point. I think I ended up getting it on DVD somewhere, because it's not on TV much. I've almost never seen it on TV as a rerun, which is unfortunate. It's a really good movie. And the animation alone is, I have great respect. And as you can see, this isn't in English. This was done in Asia, and because it was cheaper. And this is Nemo's little friend. He's a squirrel, which is a cute character. And let me see. I'll just show you the back again. It's funny how bad this looks on the reverse side when you're painting it, but then when you flip it over, it looks so much better. It's wild. But I have quite a few of these. I also have some other animated series, which I'll show you at some point. I actually traded for all these animation cells. I traded my original artwork for them many years ago, and I greatly appreciate the trade from that person. But it used a lot of paint, and if you really think about it, this is number 10, I think, and then this is number 70. So this is the dialogue. I don't have every single frame on these, but in this regard, what they often do is, as you'll see, there's only one part of a drawing here, because what they do is they'll keep, although this one is completely redrawn, sometimes what they'll do is, this is the same, and if it doesn't move, it does slightly in this one, but sometimes if they don't move and they're just doing a static pose and only their mouth is moving, they won't repaint all this. They'll leave it, the mouth not there, and then they'll do the dialogue of the talking separately, just to save on time and less work for the animators and the women or men who colored these. It was mostly women. This is kind of interesting that they did these entire cells because they didn't have to. It looks like because they were just drawing the mouth movement. But yeah, mostly women did all this. I actually know an animator, and she lives in China. I would love to do a video with her sometime, but I don't think she knows English all that great, so it would be a little challenge. But we talk back and forth. We've been friends for 10, maybe 15 years now, and it's a different person than Nicole. It's an actual different person. It's a woman who we'll put this one in here. It's a woman who used to work on Disney animated films. I found her because she actually did get credit in the film, I think, and then I found her that way. I did a lot of research, and then we've been friends ever since. Her life has gone quite a different way. She got out of animation, and now she takes care of a lot of cats in China. But here's another cell that was very detailed, as you can see. That line work is gorgeous. Just those perfect lines and circles, and it just blows my mind how clean these people can draw. I'm going to reverse these just so if they ever get stuck, I don't end up ruining the originals. Because I'll show you one in a minute. I actually used it in the thumbnail, and then there's the original again. And that, I'm not even sure how much was changed. Oh, this is literally one frame separate. So he might have, looks like his eyes opened a little bit more. And here's a clown. There's lots of clowns in this movie. It's just the opening alone, and it's in a gorgeous, gorgeous movie. I want to flip these. Just seeing the amount of animation is wild. And there's the original artwork again. And then we got another cell. A lot of times these original artwork drawings are worth more than the animation cells because this is all original. If this was hand inked like it was back in the day, these would be worth more than the original. But here he is. Look at all this color in here. There are so many colors on this. This looks like, oh, see already, this was stuck a little bit. Look at all that paint they had to do. There's so many colors inked on there. I say inked, but it's actually in the paint. They'd have tons of canisters on their desk, and they'd have numbers on them. And a lot of times in the animation, they would have, they also have what is called a color key. And it would be for the particular scene they're working on, it'd be separate. And then they would see the numbers of telling them, basically like a paint by number thing. And it would have a number for each area. And then they would just color those in with a very fine brush. To ink them, they use the old kind of nib pens a lot of times. I never was very good at those. I always use like rapidograph pens, which is not the best way to do them, but and they dry up very quickly. That's the unfortunate thing, and those are a lot more expensive rapidograph type pens. But just looking at this just blows my mind about how many colors were involved with this. And this person had to sit here and carefully paint in every single one. It's wild. Let's put it this way. And here he is with his little squirrel again. My desk is squeaky. But yeah, there's all the original artwork, and it's great. You don't always find the drawings usually end up getting separated from the originals. This is awesome. This is an original painting. This is a background painting from the movie. Some things I wasn't able to find. I mean, I didn't sit and watch frame by frame in the movie, but some things I wasn't able to find in the movie. Not everything was necessarily used, but this is gouache or gouache. I always say gouache. It's the type of paint. It's like a watercolor. And this was airbrushed. You can tell they airbrushed this to look like shiny metal. But this is just a beautiful background. This would have been used at some point. I don't know when. But they basically would lay this on top of, whatever coincided with this. But I have several backgrounds. One like I said, I wasn't able to find the original scene, so I don't know if it was cut, excuse me, or I just missed it. Here's a smaller cell drawing of Nemo. And here he is, looks spaced out of his mind. Mom must gave him some NyQuil. The boy's out. He's out. This next one is what I was talking about. It's gorgeous. This is absolutely beautiful. This was painted onto an animation cell. I think, yeah, this was directly painted on this. This is absolutely crazy. But they made a paint that would stick on the cell. Nemo has been Ben. My wife always yells at me because I say bean. It's an Austrian. It's a British thing, and I'm English, British, back in the long ancestry. Nemo has been kidnapped, but it actually said, that looks like MPPED. That's weird. Maybe they purposely did that. Nemo has been kidnapped. Nemo has been kidnapped, and it just says it over and over again. I wonder if they intended to do that. That was a mistake. But this is all painted on a cell. Usually they'll do it on a paper, and then they'll attach it to the cell. This isn't. You don't usually see these. They're not usually done on an animation cell. But just for an example. Let's just put this here. So that's what it would look like when it's shot. And then they would have an additional background behind it. But that's really cool. But yeah, this one here is absolutely gorgeous. I really need to put a piece of paper between that. I don't want that getting wrecked. But, and this is usually what's behind animation cells. It's like a tissue paper, but it has a wax coating on it so that it doesn't stick. But this guy is in the movie a lot, and this is just so cool to look at. It's been a while since I've looked at these. In the beginning of the movie, he's flying on his bed. I'm not sure if this is from that, but it kind of looks like it. It's an absolute, look at wait till you see this one right here. I mean, it doesn't look like much, But this, well, this, not this one, but the next one. Look at his hair. He looks kind of creepy there. So these people had to study the horse movement. But this one here is so tiny, and they had to ink all this, or paint it. Here's the back side. It's painted, if you can see that. But this is a really small cell. But this drawing is really tiny. If I can get this out of here. Paper's stuck. Meh. There we go. And there's Nemo again. I have some others of these put away somewhere, but this one is really nice. And he has the I can't think of the word of it. Yeah, that's what happens when you have too many damaged things done to your brain. Scepter, is that the word? I think. All right. Here's another one. These are often they'll leave notes for the animators. Separate this. Here's the original drawing. So cute. And then they leave notes in here to what they should do. And then there's the cell from it. It almost looks like they used a 2-color process in the Xerox, but I'm not sure how they do that. This one I've seen a lot on eBay, this particular cell. There's a train set. There's a train going around. The guy looks like Santa. And there's a train that goes around. That's what he's looking at, I believe, if I remember correctly. But this is just such gorgeous art. Each one of these is a piece of art. And the sad thing is that a lot of the stuff they'd throw away, or in the early years of Disney, they would actually wash these cells and redo them, which is really sad to think. That he looks a lot older there. Ooh, stuck to the paper. But yeah, like I said, I'm lucky to actually have both the originals and the original drawings in the cells. And then we'll do a, oh, this one's slightly stuck. There's a side-by-side to give you an idea of the inking and such. And I have thousands of Ewok animation cells. I'm going to do a giveaway again at some point, so if you're interested in animation cells, stay tuned. Make sure you do subscribe, and I will share those in a future video because it takes a while to go through all these. And this one's really cool, and the fact that they were able to even fill these in is crazy. That is really tiny animation. And there's how they colored them with little tiny brushes. It's a little like a fine dot. I don't envy these people who had to do the coloring on these. Here is some more here. There's a full body shot of this guy. I forget his name. So that's really cool. And here's another one. Sometimes I get a series of the cells, and sometimes I don't. This is C22, this is 23, so this is the previous cell. And then if you were to flip through all these, you would get the animation. And it takes 24 frames per second. In traditional animation, I don't know if they've ever changed it because, now they do like 60 frames on camera and stuff. But traditionally, there were 24. Which just is insane that you have to do 24 paintings per second. That's just insane. But yeah, I got quite a few of these. Even if I were to scan and show them to you, it would be like a quick boop, done. There's another. This one belongs to the one underneath, or the previous one. I think it belongs to the one that I showed you earlier. Another one, beautiful. I love these colors. It was a very colorful movie. It was kind of dark in parts, but also very colorful. There he is riding a horse again. Doesn't look like he's having much fun in there, no. And there's the original drawing. And here he is again. It's just amazing. I wish there was a museum I could go to just check all of this animation out. A lot of Don Bluth. The reason you don't see like a ton, except for certain movies, of Don Bluth movies is they're all, he gave them or donated them all to a college down south. I can't remember if it's South or North Carolina. It's been a while since I talked to them. But they did start uploading them so you could see some of them. I don't know I think they stopped. Last I looked, I didn't see them. So I don't know if they just stopped sharing them. I'll have to do some research again and check. But you used to be able to go on and check and see some movies that weren't even produced. And you could see the original Cels. This is a really nice drawing. I don't think I have the cell for this one, though. This is a crazy one. He looks like a Roman soldier. And a lot of the other ones are still owned by the companies. So Disney owns the majority of theirs. Although I did find the Brave Little Toaster and the Ewok Cels. Those are have been let out into the public. There's some movies I would love Cels from that I've not been able to find anywhere, which is Frosty the Snowman, and a lot of Steven Spielberg's American Tail. Those are hard to find. I do have some originals of those. They're put away somewhere. He looks a little drunk there. There's another creepy clown. My wife hates clowns. And here's a crazy scene. Some type of bat creature. It looks very scary. Here's some more. I don't remember that one. I think it's near the end. Sorry, I'm flying through. I didn't want to take forever on all these. This one is separated. I think I put paper in between these. I didn't want them sticking. And there's a bad influence on kids. Kids, don't smoke. And then there's the original on the back. But yeah, all your favorite cartoons of the 80s were either done in Asia mostly or Canada. Canada had a big animation studio, which I tried to contact, and they said they no longer had any animation cells sitting around because I wanted to try and get some. But they were all gone. I used to do a lot of research into traditional animation. And there's a lot of these. There's Nemo. We're getting close to the end, and then you'll see one of the... How does his head turn like that? He's like an owl. I wish I could read. I can no longer read. There's one book I want to read, but I can't, and there's no audiobook of it yet. And it's got 300 and some pages, though, and I don't want to have to scan them all to listen to them as a PDF read to you or whatever. Here is... These just blow my mind. Unfortunately, this is stuck to the back. The original drawing is stuck underneath this one. In the beginning... Nemo is kind of tripping out or just dreaming, and a giant train plows through his house. And the amount, just think, this is one frame. All this had to been drawn out and then inked. In this case, I think they Xeroxed these. And then they still had to color all this. And there's so many details in this carpet. And then this train comes flying through the wall, so all the pieces, and then Nemo goes flying. I gotta go get it out from the scanner because I scanned the page to put on as my thumbnail. But because there's so much ink on this that I don't want to wreck. I gotta reheat it up and then see if I can get the rest of it off, but you can, ooh, I hate that squeaky noise. You can see part of this drawing, very, 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 very detailed. They have all these little piece of fragments broken off, but yeah, it's unfortunately stuck, and I'm not sure I'll be able to get it off there. I can try warming it up. This looks like there's two cells here. Yeah, there is. All right, so the strange thing is they only did a few pieces, if you can see that. Let me get something, white paper. If you can see, there's only these little tiny fragments that they had on a separate cell. Kind of strange. They must have forgotten them. Because this, oh yeah, they colored it wrong, I see. So whoever colored this didn't do it right. So this, if you can see the original, it's all blue. They were supposed to be shaded on one side, and then someone fixed that. Same here. This fragment is supposed to be a lighter. They left it as door, but someone cared enough that they redid these tiny pieces. That's pretty wild. Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, that's a gorgeous cell. Unfortunately, Nemo isn't in that one. And then here, while you're looking at that, I'm going to go get the other one. This one I have actually has Nemo in it, and it also has the original. It's stuck to the paper. However, it is on the opposite side. So, but you can see they had to paint all this in. This had to take a while for the cell. And then on the back, you can see everything. So this is telling you the colors. And then someone on the other one missed some of the colors, but this one looks like it was done all correctly. But just the amount of drawing on this is insane. And then they had to fill it all in. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I love sharing this stuff. I'm finally kind of got enough of my brain that I can do some stuff for you. Yeah, if you haven't already, please do thumbs up this video. I greatly appreciate it. Share with your friends. And as always, I'd like to wish you a magical day. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.